Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. Today we got a special show here today. We're going to do the recording live of the radio program here today. Today is actually September 28th, about 8:05 in the AM. We'll do a market update. We will go through some of the opportunities with the markets, and then we're going to close out the show, the radio program, and we will continue for you podcast listeners. So stay tuned for that. So we will close out the show, but we will continue on for the listeners, and let's get a little round of applause for that. So as we continue and begin the show here, let's do it. Welcome to the big show. This is Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. If you're a first-time listener, thank you for stopping by. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we are happy to have you with us today. As always, I have the Stock Master on the group. Today, that's his name, the Stock Master, but he is Al Connickson. Al, how are you doing today?
I'm doing actually pretty good, Josh. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, and we have a great time on the show talking about the stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptocurrency, opportunities in the markets, but we like to have a little bit of fun too, a little bit of banter back and forth. So for those of you listening to the podcast, make sure to check that out. If you're watching the YouTube stream live, make sure to do that as well. You might get a couple outtakes, but as always, our sponsor, Online Trading Academy, teaching people just like you for over 26 years. That's 26 years. That's almost your age.
Well, it's close.
Learning the skills and teaching,
give or take,
a whole bunch of other years. Couple, yeah. But teaching the skills of trading and investing, how to get in the market safely, but also confidently. And I like to use that word. And sometimes you do have to invest with confidence, don't you?
You do.
And
you should.
You should, exactly. That actually used to be the name of the show, but some people didn't like that for some odd reason. But, Al, we had another crazy move in the market this week. And the title of the podcast here, with the dollar, is stocks, like my good friend Chris Berman once said, have they been rumbling, bumbling, and tumbling this week?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Excuse me. So this week was actually a great week as they were going down for people that know how to short the market, which is an opportunity for strategies to profit as markets go down. The dollar has been surging, so there's more purchase power with the dollar, quote unquote, like they say. And the overall market just struggling this past week. We know what happened on Friday. Unemployment claims came out on Thursday. They were lower than expected. So is that good for everything? We'll see what happens with the market. Who knows? With all this news, the market's rumbling, bumbling, and tumbling. What is your take on this crazy opportunity that we're seeing right now?
Well, crazy good opportunity if you have the right investment strategy or strategies. And that's really the key. Most people, Josh, excuse me. Well,
we're both having a tough time here.
It's too early. It's early in the morning.
We got to get our coffee going here. Here we go. Okay, now I'm ready.
What I am noticing, Josh, is a lot more fear in the people that are coming in. We've seen a number of things, data-driven things, or data that the Fed is going to use to make their decisions. But the week before last, the Fed said, look, we may have to raise interest rates again. We may, at the very least, we'll have to hold them at this steady rate or this high rate for a while. But now the market's slumping because consumer confidence has fallen, new home sales have fallen, oil is going up. There's a bunch of things out there that are impacting this market, which is really good if you know what you're doing. If you're sitting on the sidelines, or if you're just in the typical strategy that Wall Street has you in, this is terrible. You're not feeling good about what's happening, and that's a shame because you could. It's just having the right knowledge, the right education to be able to take advantage of these things. And if you think the market provides benefit, and look at the people that do very well. We have people that run hedge funds, people like Warren Buffett, that have built fortunes basically from the stock market. There are a lot of people that are doing well, and they do well only because they know what they're doing. They have learned the lessons that are out there that are available to be taught. In fact, learn those lessons from the people that have gone through them, the people that live this market. But what I'm seeing is that people are petrified. They're afraid, and what it boils down to is they're afraid to do anything. They're afraid to make changes. They've lost so much money. 2022 was a terrible year for the market. If you were in the typical 60-40 buy and hold split, that was one of the worst years ever for that strategy. 2023, we saw the market start to come back, and then just recently it's rolled over, and we're seeing some big drawdowns in the market. We'll have these big drawdowns, we'll have big up days, we're going to have movements both directions, which are opportunities regardless of which way the market's going. But what I'm concerned about is this fear that we're seeing from people that are coming in. They lost money in 2022, they're seeing a little bit of it come back in 2023, and then they're losing that again. And they're afraid to make a change because if they take control of their own assets, which is what our students want to do, they want to take control. It doesn't have to be all your assets, it can be a small part. But if you're taking control, you're concerned that maybe you'll make the wrong decision and you'll end up losing more. So what they do is they leave their money with the people that caused them to lose money in 22 and are following their advice, causing them to lose money now. You know, I'll never forget, about a year ago, we had a person come in, and in 2020, when the pandemic hit, in 3 weeks, each week, they lost $100,000. $100,000 one week, $100,000 the second week, $100,000 the third week, and he was feeling really kind of very depressed, very down on his advisor that he thought was a good friend of his. He went to visit his advisor, and the comment was that he came back with was, the advisor said, "Well, I lost money too." That's supposed to make you feel better? No, and that's even worse. If you have an advisor that's losing money, then they're probably not advising you to do the right thing during these time periods where you could be benefiting, not losing.
Yeah, and you talk about there's quote unquote fear in the market. Just don't take our word for it. What's the gauge of the fear? What's the fear gauge?
Well, the VIX.
The VIX. That's up 53% in the past since the 14th of September. Think about that.
Yeah.
So, but that's an opportunity if you know how to use that. There's opportunities as the public gets afraid. There's opportunities to profit as markets go down. We'll talk about that coming up. But I like how you were just kind of mentioning about taking control of your own money, because who is going to have your best interest in what you want in your future, you or your kids, right? Well, it's going to be you both, right?
Yeah, eventually it will be your kids.
It's not going to be a stranger.
No, that's right.
Yeah, even if they say, "Oh, I like my gal or I like my guy," but there's got to be something else you can do, and that's why we talk about these techniques and strategies here on the show to introduce you to these techniques on the show. Obviously, we can't teach anything on the show. That's why we invite people to come into an investing class local at our academies. We have a local academy right here in Bloomington, physical place to learn about the financial markets. What can you do? What are some of your opportunities, some of your options with your retirement accounts, with your income accounts, and making smarter investing decisions? So I want to invite you to this class. This is a 2-hour class here. Al teaches these, I teach these as well. And these are classes where we've taught thousands. Just like you are many strategies which are designed to teach you and help you make smart and intelligent investing decisions. So text the word investing to the number 210-210 right now for 2 seats for this class and the jumbo pack. Text investing to the number 210-210 and the jumbo pack for this investing class. If you're a caller, simply call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410, and we'll make sure we get you a date that works the best for you. That way you can talk to a physical person and you're not talking to a robot like most places you call. So, coming up next, stay tuned. We're going to talk about income strategies, wealth strategies, how to take advantage of these markets as they're going down. We're seeing some drops. Coming up next, stay tuned. This is Josh and Al. We will be right back. For you podcast listeners, make sure to stay tuned here. We are not done on the podcast. Al, as I'm getting ready for the next segment here, I want you to look at the chart right here. I have a chart of the S&P 500 up right now. And I don't know if you can see that, but this is the S&P 500 right here. On the left side, we have a daily chart.
Right.
Here's a 4-hour chart. And we have a 1-hour chart right here. Now, just by looking at this, and I want you to explain why we use multiple time frames in trading and investing. Is it to give context? Is it your execution? Is it short-term, long-term? Doesn't matter. But just explain why 3 time frames, at least 2 to 3. And then what is your thoughts? Because the S&P 500 did break this daily demand zone.
Yeah, the time frames that you use are going to be determined by the style that you are using in investing. If you're a long-term investor, you use time frame charts that are more long-term. If you're short-term, if you're looking for short-term income, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, you're going to use a combination of shorter-term time frame charts. And the reason that we use three different ones is that they all tell us a little different information. You kind of look at it like a funnel. If you put something in a funnel, you put a large amount in, and by the time it gets down to the bottom, you have a little bit coming out. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we want to do with your investments. Look at something, and then kind of funnel it down to that small flow, which is your entry. We want you to be able to find an entry that gives you the greatest opportunity of it working in your favor.
So it's kind of like you have a forest of trees. You're trying to find that one tree with the best syrup, if it's a maple tree.
There you go. Yeah. So you want to fill your maple bottle with good syrup, good quality syrup. So we're looking for a number of different things. What is the market trend? Where's what we call curve? What are the opportunities as far as the movement of a particular asset? And what is the trend? Where in the trend is the price right now? And then how do we hone in on a very precise, accurate price? And the most important thing, you can disregard almost everything else out there except this. You have to find the right price to enter into a position. That, if you do that with the right price, it's going to also help you find a quality exit position if you're wrong, and also the maximum profit potential if you're right. Those are the things that really result in a quality trade. And what we're talking about when Josh says talk about demand zones, there's two zones that we try to identify. That one is a supply zone and one is a demand zone. And just substitute for demand the word buyers, and for supply the word sellers. Where are the people that are going to move the price of something? That's the only thing that's really important. When is price going to move in your favor? How do you identify that? You do that by using a combination of these time frames that will get you to a quality zone where your entry price is. And nothing is going to be 100%. You can't. I mean, you can try to achieve that. You never will. Nobody will be right 100% of the time. But you need to put the odds in your favor. The probabilities that when you take a position, it's going to move in your favor and move far enough for you to achieve an attractive profit.
I like that. We're going to continue that discussion in the next segment here on the podcast, so stay tuned for that. But make sure to subscribe and like and smash that like button on the podcast, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Make sure to follow the YouTube stream as well. Just type in Josh Lilquist on YouTube. We stream this live as well. So also on Spotify, you can make a comment. So if you like the show, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like the show, let us know, and we'll do what we can to improve that for you. As always, collect your profits when they're shown to you, and protect your losses, keeping them small. Until next time, retire young, my friends.